All right, Hayden, here we go. We're gonna set up our rocker studs. I've already done all of them except these two so I can show you what we're doing. But these are loose. They come loose because you have to set these push rod guide plates. You can see how I'm moving them. So what I did is I snugged this one up, put a push rod in, we roll this rocker down, and you can see as I'm moving it, these are centered on the valve stem. So if we move this over, you can see how these are loose. You can see how I can move that because the guide plate moves with it. So what we want to do is we want to set this at center. Throw a little snug on there. Set it in there. And you can see how that stays steady with the tip of the valve stem. So now what we'll do is pull these off. Give these a torque at 45 foot-pounds is what the head manufacturer says, so torque them up and let's double check them. This one is off a little bit, so we're going to move this back over. Must have moved a little. So let's snug this up again. Slide that back on. That looks good. Give it a torque. Double check it. That looks good. Let's take this out. Put this guy in. Let's double check this one. That one looks pretty good too. Now, with these rockers, they go on a certain way. You see how there's rounded, and then there's flats on this side. So that it's got to go like that, so the nut, which is an adjustable nut so we can adjust these valves, will seat on top of that roller rocker. So next we're going to adjust all of our valves, and I'll get these all on there and then I'll show you how to do that. Alright, Hayden, we're back with adjusting valve lash. So these are backed off. I've got all the other ones done already, but I want to show you how to do these. So this is our intake valve. You can see it goes down the intake and the other one comes through the exhaust. So what we want to do is we want to rotate the engine until this one comes halfway up. So your exhaust valve is going to come halfway up. When that one comes halfway up, we know that the intake is on its base circle of the cam. So there's no lift and it's not on the ramp or anything like that. So what we'll do now is we'll rotate this, wiggle this, make sure everything's seated until we get zero lash out of this. And then with hydraulic lifters, we're going to give this thing about a half turn, maybe a little more. It's not real critical, half to 3/4 with hydraulics. So then we'll crank down this guy, give it a little lock on there. So now we rotate this to do the exhaust side. And what we're going to do is the intake's going to come up, and when it starts to go back down, we know the exhaust one is on its base circle. So again, you can see how everything's loose. So we're just going to wiggle this around till we get zero lash out of this, and you'll feel it. And again, give it a little better than a half turn. Gonna lock this guy down. And then when we're all said and done, I like to go through and give these things about 25 foot-pounds, just to make sure that them locks will not come off. So now, when we get oil pressure in there, she's going to be right where we want it, and it's going to fill up that valve lash. You can can see how nice and smooth everything goes here. So we got all roller top end, roller lifters, roller rockers, roller tip lockers. So all that's left now is we'll flip this thing over, and we're going to wait for an oil pan. This thing on top dead center here. There we go. And that's that.